What's up YouTube? Christine with Gauge Girl Training here, and today I want to talk about natural sweetener alternatives. So let's get started. My lack of energy right now, I'm a little bit under the weather, but I did want to get on here, stay consistent, and take my own advice and hashtag do it anyway, because I got goals, you got goals, and you guys need information. And tonight I wanted to talk about natural alternatives when it comes to sweeteners. I think a lot of you guys have your minds made up that you want to go a more natural route when it comes to eating your food, eating real whole foods. And for those of you who do choose to still use artificial sweeteners, to each their own. However, I wanted to pose to you guys my thoughts and opinions on some common natural sweetener alternatives, what I think of them, and which ones I actually like and which ones I use. So the number one sweetener you hear the most about is stevia. I think stevia has just had some brilliant marketing behind it. The sweetener comes from a natural stevia leaf plant, and the leaf is naturally sweet. The reason why there's a lot of popularity with this is that it's got no calories, and you can have as much as you want, and it's not going to raise your blood sugar, it's not going to have any negative impact like that, and it's calorie free and it's natural. Now, the word natural is you need to kind of think about that in context, because it is naturally derived from a plant, but it still is processed, you guys. Like, unless you're actually chewing on leaves, there was processing that happened to get it from a leaf into the powder form, into the package, into the grocery store that you bought. So all that being said, it is processed, but it is a natural ingredient. Now, when it comes to stevia, the natural active ingredient that makes stevia taste sweet is called rhodioxide A, and not all stevia is created equal. In general, if you have a stevia in a product, you as the consumer do not know the quality of the stevia that the manufacturer used. So, for instance, you can get a stevia, rhodioxide A, it can be called Reb A for short, that's what we call it in the industry. So you could have a 90% Reb A product, you could have a 99% Reb A, 99.5, 99.99, and the differences between the different levels of stevia purity is going to cause a significant change in the price to the manufacturer who's making it. So all that being said, the higher the purity of the stevia, the better it's going to taste. In general, I personally do not like stevia. I'm giving you guys my personal opinion. I think it has a licorice-like aftertaste. I have tasted some decent stevias that are like the 99.999% pure, but I am not familiar with any commercial products that actually use the good stuff. So if you are getting a product with stevia in it, it's okay. I don't think it's going to be one of the best tasting options for you. It's out there. Some of you guys like it. I personally don't. Another option is, who's heard of erythritol? It's a sugar alcohol, and this sugar alcohol is natural. There's a problem with it though. A lot of people like the idea of this ingredient because it does not cause your blood sugar to increase. Got it. But there are some side effects with this ingredient. I would not use erythritol. It's common in gums. It's common in a lot of things. I wouldn't use anything with sugar alcohols because it's not metabolized by the body. You're a very unpleasant side effect if you eat too many products that have sugar alcohols. And that side effect is, unfortunately to say, diarrhea, headaches, nausea. I would advise staying away from erythritol. I just don't touch it. I don't go near it. It doesn't taste that good. I think it tastes a little bit better than stevia, but it's nothing to write home about. So I wouldn't go seeking it out as a natural sweetener alternative. Sorry to burst your guys' bubble. So you're probably like, dang, Christine, well, what can we have? I do have good news, and I highly recommend monk fruit. It comes from a fruit naturally found in China and Southeast Asia. It's been used in herbal medicine for hundreds of years. It also goes by the name non-gmo, and the active sweetener in this ingredient goes by the chemical name of mongrosides. Now, just like stevia, where the active ingredient was called ribadioside A, in monk fruit, or the name that we call it in industry is lohan, the active thing that gives it the quality of its flavor is the degree and percentage of purity of the mongrosides. Now, I have tasted some good monk fruit. I have tasted, and it tastes clean. It has a different flavor profile from stevia. Stevia has like a licorice-like aftertaste. This has a very smooth, it doesn't have an aftertaste. It doesn't have a sugar-like taste, but it doesn't have a bad aftertaste, if that makes sense. It is the closest thing that tastes closest to fructose that I could possibly describe to you guys. You can purchase monk fruit in the raw. It's probably one of the best tasting natural sweeteners I have ever come across. There are higher quality ones, and there are manufacturers that are beginning to formulate with lohan, beginning to formulate with monk fruit in commercial products such as protein powders, which is pretty cool to see. And I like it. I like it. It's generally regarded as safe. It goes by several names, but monk fruit is definitely a go. It's not the most amazing, like, oh my gosh, this tastes like I'm biting a piece of pineapple. It's not like that. But for it being natural, for it being calorie-free, for it reaching those two criteria, it tastes pretty darn good. So I would highly recommend monk fruit. Okay, last but not least is I'm recommending coconut palm sugar. Now, it does have a slightly lower glycemic index rating than traditional sugar, so it does give your body a little bit more time to digest it. It's not highly processed. It does taste, looks, smells, and dissolves like sugar. Now, this is going to be slightly higher in carbohydrates than the other options that I discussed at the beginning of this video, but it is a viable sugar substitute for diabetics, for those looking to avoid blood sugar spikes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this short tutorial about my thoughts on natural alternatives to sweeteners. Please comment below if you want to know anything else.